When you first meet Jen, it doesn't take long for you to realize that she has tremendous confidence and a strong personality. Her outgoing nature and that confidence is the first memory that I have of her. From the time that she was able to string a sentence together, I remember Jenny introducing herself and her parents to anyone that would be willing to listen in shopping malls. And she would say, "Hi, I'm Jenny. I live in Dale City. This is my mom, Dinaz." Not shy, not bashful, not our Jen. It was that sense of confidence that carried Jen through her teenage years. She became increasingly self-reliant and focused during high school. She was able to persuade me, which is another one of Jen's traits, the art of not-so-gentle persuasion, to take her on a road trip through New York and through some of the states of New England in her quest to find the perfect university, before she finally settled on the accounting and finance program at UT. So, yeah. Many miles traveled, many miles flown, only to find yourself back at home in Texas. But I do cherish that trip together, Jennifer. I don't know about you, but whenever Jen's around, I find that not only is there never a dull moment, but on the contrary, my life takes on a whirlwind speed. Everything has to be done right then. Life must be lived to the fullest now. Jen rushed through 4 years of college and 3, using the 4th to gain her master's. By the time she was 23, she had a postgraduate degree and was qualified as a CPA. Of course, none of this stopped her from traveling around the world or taking on different and varied challenges. Not being content with simply being a barista at Starbucks in one of her first jobs, she undertook to learn everything she could about the world of coffee. Wouldn't it be fun to get a certificate in bartending or a certificate in scuba diving? How about taking time off to run with the bulls in Pompano, Spain? You get the drift. But everything that Jennifer does is thoroughly planned and executed. The meticulous planning is so evident today. Everything that you see before you, Jennifer has planned single-handedly for this wedding, with Brian instinctively knowing to accept all the delegated tasks. I met Brian, like a lot of people seem to meet each other these days, on the internet. Jen was traveling with me through Turkey, incessantly going on about him, until finally, during one of her inordinately long chats with him on Skype, she introduced us. Nice enough fellow, I thought, from that brief introduction. And then Brian and Jen came up to see me in Toronto, where I live. But it was actually in Turkey that I realized that this guy must be for keeps. Why? Because notwithstanding Jen's diligently and deliberately planned trip to Europe that year, she immediately cut it short when Brian called and said, "I miss you, and can you come back home to the States sooner?" And so we find ourselves here today at the wedding. Brian, your laid-back style, being calm, cool, and collected is, I think, the perfect complement to Jen's hurricane speed. Welcome into our family. I know that my sister Dinaz is looking forward to gaining a son. Perfect timing for Mother's Day tomorrow. This is generally the time in the speech that is devoted to words of wisdom on marriage. Well, you're in luck today. It's going to be very short because for a bachelor, I have no personal experience in this regard and no specific wisdom to impart. But I have observed over the years many a long-lasting and successful marriage. A common thread seems to run through these marriages. In all the instances, I notice first and foremost the mutual respect that husband and wife have. I observe that each spouse is an equal partner in the marriage, and one does not take the other for granted. By and large, I heard words spoken gently to each other. So Brian and Jennifer, my wish for you is this, that hard as it might sometimes be, that you'll always strive to be kind to each other and respectful of one another. Aim to resolve any quarrels before going to bed at night so that the following day can begin with a renewed commitment to the vows that you have taken here today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in raising your glass to the bride and groom, Jennifer and Brian. May the love and happiness you feel here today last throughout your lives. Jen and Brian.